Town of Ayer Zoning Board of Appeals, Wednesday, July 19th, 2023, remote participating meeting agenda. In accordance with Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, OML, public bodies otherwise governed by the OML are temporarily relieved from the requirement that meetings be held in public, open and physically accessible to the public, so long as measures are taken to ensure public access to bodies' deliberation through adequate and alternative means. This meeting will be live on Zoom. Public may participate remotely by joining Zoom meeting ID number 857-9728-7177 or by calling 312-626-6799. For additional information about remote participation, please contact Samantha Benoit, Administrative Coordinator at sbenoit@ayer.ma.us or 978-772-8220, extension 114 prior to the meeting. We'll call this meeting to order. First item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda.
One change,
What's the change?
next regularly scheduled ZBA meeting should be Wednesday, August 19th.
Oh. At the bottom.
Yep,
Oh,
It should be August
16th, right?
6th. Yeah, 16th. Sorry about
I'm
that.
sorry, yeah, 16th.
all right. Typo.
Good eye, John.
Nice catch, John. All right. Now, you approve the agenda?
I make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Second that motion.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Please state your name.
Jessica Gino, aye.
Mike Gibbons, aye.
John Ellis, aye.
Ron, aye.
Sam Goodwin, aye. Marilyn, you in there?
She,
Yep.
she only votes if one of you's missing.
Okay. All right. Next item on the agenda, public hearing, application for variance, Tim Santiago, One Right Way, filed June 7th, 2023. Public hearing notice. Ayer ZBA will be conducting a remote public hearing at 6:05 PM on July 19th, 2023 regarding application submitted by Tim Santiago for the property located on One Right Way, Ayer, Mass. The applicant is seeking a variance from the Ayer zoning bylaws, area requirements for a property located in the A2 zoning district, which requires 12,000 square feet. Proposed lot 1A will be 12,005 with 116 feet of frontage, and proposed lot B will contain 8,695 square feet with 123.55 feet of frontage on right way. For Zoom call-in information, please contact zba@ayer.ma.us or 978-772-8220, extension 114. Advertised July 30th, 2023 and July 7th, 2023, in the Neshoba Valley Boys. All right, who do we have for representative?
My name is Kevin Conover from David Ross Associates. I represent Tim Santiago on this filing.
Okay,
Mr. Chair,
yes,
do we have a letter from the applicant for David Ross to represent him? I did not see one in the packet.
Mr. Santiago is present at this meeting. He may be,
Okay.
he could vouch for me or not
Okay, I
vouch
did
for
not
me.
know
He could
that.
authorize me to present this on his behalf.
Okay,
thank you. Samantha, did we have one?
This was all I was given, but the letter,
I know, I see where it says on behalf, but that doesn't give him authorization.
yeah, but he's here.
I know that, John, thank you.
yeah, this was everything that was included, so a letter was missing.
That's fine. We'll put that on our list for the new forms.
Yeah, to make sure that's clear.
Yes, okay. I'm sorry, sir, go ahead.
No worries, no worries. So just to be clear, Mr. Santiago did sign the application. So he's aware of the submission, and again, he is present in the Zoom meeting. Good evening. Thank you for taking the time to review this application. As you stated, basically verbatim from the letter that I submitted to the town the beginning of June, property is located on the westerly side of Right Way. Currently, there's an existing house that is owned by Mr. Santiago's parents. Tim Santiago actually lives in that house right now. On the adjacent to that, or northerly of the existing house, there's an existing garage. And what Mr. Santiago is attempting to do is to divide the property into two and to build a single-family house on Lot 1B. As shown on our plot plan, Lot 1B would not have the required 12,000 square feet as required in that zoning district. It does have in excess of 100 feet of frontage. And in addition, it also has a little more than 20 feet of frontage on Wright Road as well as Right Way. As most of you know, who have ever been down there, the houses are pretty close together. There is a density in that area of Ayer. And we feel that with the existing house and the existing garage, it is consistent with that density. So constructing a new house on Lot 1B would be consistent with what's there now, and also with the proximity of the houses in that neighborhood. So he's seeking the variance for the lot area requirement as submitted.
What would your
Setbacks.
yeah, I'm drawing a blank here for a minute. What's your justification for the variance?
So Mr. Santiago is in this Zoom meeting. He'd like to make a statement. If that's okay.
Well, that's fine, because one of the things I'm looking at, and I'll be right up front with you, I'm looking at this lot B size of 8,695 square feet, and it's really not that. Because if you look, you've got a 20-foot piece that's about 90 feet long, and by my math, that's about 1,800 square feet that is really ineffectual for that lot size. So your lot size is actually much smaller. Now you might total it out, but that 20-foot strip running down the right road essentially has no bearing whatsoever on the lot size. It's an addition.
Well, I think the word you're looking for is usable land. It is all part of the same lot, where that portion looks like a tail or looks like a panhandle, is not a usable portion of that property, but it's all included with the area. Town of Ayer does not have a lot shape factor, and any lot that, or any property lines or new lot lines that are created, as long as they total the area, they conform. So Mr. Santiago is present now, and I'd like him to make a statement, if that's okay.
Go right ahead, please.
Hi, I just wanted to say thank you for taking the time to listen to our proposal. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so I just wanted to say thank you for taking the time. I just wanted to give you a brief background of what our plan is and why we did this proposal. So like Kevin said, I live with my parents and they're getting a little bit older. To be honest, they were in and out of the hospital last year quite a bit. My father had a stroke. So we were just trying to brainstorm on really how to keep me close, but also give me some space. And as Kevin said, there is an existing garage there. So really what we're trying to do is just get me some space of my own, but be able to be close to my parents, in case of emergency or if they need anything, in that regard. So that's what I'm proposing, really. And I was just wondering if you guys had any other questions for me.
Looking at the lot again, I mean, this is going to be a damn small house if you put one in there. Your lot's only 55 feet wide. I don't know what it is from the marker where it says 2178 to the property line where you've got marked off, but it's got to be, if this is anything close to scale, it's got to be around 40 feet. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, that is correct. So you are correct. Any structure that would be placed in that lot would be small, because they have to conform to the 15-foot side yard setback.
Yeah,
So their house could be fit in there. We kind of looked at different scenarios, and a house of 24 feet wide would fit in there. I think that's all Mr. Santiago is looking for. He's not looking to do this for a development or a source of income. He's doing it to be close to his parents. And so anything that goes on that lot will be small in terms of a structure, but it'll also conform to the zoning setbacks as required. So, you're exactly right. It would be small, which again would be consistent with the neighborhood. It's not building a large house for an income property, so to speak.
well, what happens to the house when Mr. Santiago takes over the bigger house? Does this property get sold? I mean, does it stay in your family? I'm trying to ascertain what's going to happen to this property in the future. What are you doing with this? You're not going to end up with two houses. You're only going to live in one.
That's pretty far down the road. I honestly, I didn't even, that wasn't even a consideration for me. I haven't lived here the whole time, but they've owned this house for 31 years.
Yeah.
We're not planning on selling or leaving it. Like Kevin said, this is strictly so that I can have my own space and be closer to my parents, you know what I mean? So that if anything were to happen, but again, there's no future plan on me moving from the smaller house to the bigger house. That's not what it's really about. And like I said, we're not planning on going anywhere. So yes, the property would stay in the family. So I guess, does that answer your question?
Yeah, it answers my question. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yep. John, questions?
I looked at the place and I just think it's just way too tight.
Okay. Ron?
I think the same. And if you're really looking at the actual amount of square feet in the lot, of any kind of, it's really taking advantage of this dog leg here with the frontage situation. It's awful small there. It's downhill. I think the police has brought up the idea of where these cars are going to park.
Yeah, I saw that.
And it's tight, and I can't see granting this variance.
I'd like to address the comment from the police chief regarding parking. There is existing parking on the southerly side of the existing house for that house, and any development or any house that's being built on lot 1B would probably just have parking right in front of it, like every other house down there. In terms of the dog leg or the panhandle or whatever you want to call that, that's an inherent property line that's not created by this plan. And I understand your concerns that it's not really usable or buildable, but it's still included in the lot area. So again, that was created on a plan that was done in 1971. And we're just reproducing the property lines as shown on that plan with this proposed division of 1A and 1B.
Thank you. Jess?
Well, the dog leg does concern me, and also the fact that, long term, this would be going beyond the family's needs into other generations of owners. So I'm not keen on this. I also take into account the conservation agent saying, increasing the density around the pond is not a great idea. And other decisions, I haven't liked increasing density in this proximity to the pound anyway, so I'm skeptical.
Okay.
It just seems too small. Yeah.
Can I address that issue? In terms of the conservation, all the work on lot 1B would be at almost 200 feet away from the pond.
Oh, I know, it's outside of the buffer zone. It's
Correct.
outside of the buffer zone. I'm not talking about that, but I'm
Nope.
talking about density in relation to a pond. And adding, and the density is an issue in this particular.
Okay, and that's a valid point, if the garage was staying, but the garage is going to be removed. So like we're talking, the house that would be built on that lot would probably be incomparable or slightly larger than what's there now. So there's really limitations to what can be built on that. So the garage would be coming down, and the new houses would be built on that property. So in terms of density, it's almost a wash. Conservation Commission does have some concerns, but again, it's out of their jurisdiction, so we wouldn't be in front of them with any development.
Michael,
So I think my primary concern is something John's already brought up. But it's the setbacks here, right? I
Yep.
know Kevin had mentioned that they'd be looking at a house that's 24 feet wide, but they're in the A2 district that has 15-foot side yard setbacks. The rear of the property, which is the widest for really what's your building envelope, is only 55 feet.
Yep.
So we're talking 25 feet, but they also have a 25-foot rear yard setback. So the way that lot is tapering, I don't see how we're going to be doing development on this lot without another set of variances. Not to mention, if we allow it, I'm not sure about the existing garage, right? We've created at that point, there's no way that's 15 feet from that north setback.
yeah,
So are we creating a pre-existing non-conforming building then that would, in worst case scenario, if we don't grant variances for a new building, is that an envelope that could be used for future construction? I don't know about that,
Yep.
but I mean, I think the setbacks will provide additional issues, but maybe Kevin can address that. But that's really my biggest concern with this. It's
Sure.
almost like we'd be creating a hammerhead lot type setup with that funny frontage, but I am slightly concerned with that. But I think we're creating a lot that's not just going to require this variance, it's going to require at least a couple more. So
I agree.
Great.
Great. In terms of that, what we're proposing to do would not require any variances. We would build a structure on that property that would exist to the front side and rear setbacks. I agree with you, Mike, at 25 feet in the rear and 15 side is going to give you a small envelope to build. But again, that'll be consistent with what's already there. Also be consistent with the size of the houses in that area. It is not our intention now, or what I think it would be in the future, to be back in front of this board to seek a setback requirement variance. I think that would be poor planning on our part. We would do it all. We're looking for just a use variance right now.
okay. So then could you just, and it's just because I'm not sure, Kevin, but if we were to approve a variance like this tonight, right? Does the existing garage become a pre-existing non-conforming building that could be built on in the future?
Yes.
Well, it already is a pre-existing non-conforming because it's too close to the property line, the northerly property line of Lake Investment Trust.
Yep.
But having said that, in the town of Ayer, they have a provision, if you have a detached structure that's more than 10 feet away from an existing house, you only have to be 5 feet off of a property line.
Okay.
So I don't know what that garage is off the property line, but I would think it'd be either slightly above that or it would be 5 feet. So again, the existing setback to an existing property line is only 5 feet, but that's a pre-existing condition and that's inherent with the property. And that was like that before submitted this plan.
Okay. All right.
So-
Thank you.
This is not going to be two separate properties. This is going to be one piece of property with two houses.
No,
No, two lots.
it's two separate properties, Johnny. He's splitting the property in
I
half.
understand that, but he just said that because of the other building on the property, it lowers the requirement for the setback.
That's not what I said. Well, I did say that, but maybe I'll explain it to you a little differently. As the property exists now is one lot, as it currently exists, that is a detached accessory structure garage, and it only has to be 5 feet off of a property line. The lot line between lot 1 and 1A and 1B, if the variance is approved, still has to go to the planning board for endorsement. In that case, we would make sure that everything conforms to the zoning setbacks. However, as part of an approval not required plan submitted to the planning board, properties or buildings do not have to conform to zoning. That's not part of what an approval not required plan approval is all about. So currently that existing garage is a pre-existing, probably a conforming structure, but even
That's true, but that, to me, it's irrelevant because that's going to go away and this becomes a new entity, a new piece of property. So whatever the garage, whatever rules and regulation that conforms to has nothing to do with this because this is a new construction on a new piece of property.
That is correct. But to get to that point, we need the variance for the lot area.
So we would be creating a new non-conforming lot.
Right.
I would.
That's right.
I understand the need for accessibility to aging parents, and I understand the need for more space. But rather than create a permanent new non-conforming lot, isn't there a way to put on a building addition to the existing house and leave their conforming?
Sure.
Like Mr. Santiago said, that was suggested in the initial conversations. He would like something separate than an existing addition. So that is not on the table at this time.
Fair enough. Michael, you want to make a motion?
Well, Sam,
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Tillotson has his
Excuse me,
hand up.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, Jeff Tillotson. I'm hoping that you'll take some public comment.
What can I do for you, sir?
Well, I actually listened to this with great interest. I don't know if Mr. Santiago has explored accessory units. We do have a provision in our zoning bylaw, and I don't know if it applies to A2 or not, but I would ask the applicant. I mean, if you deny this, I think they have to wait 3 years to come back for another variance, or 2 years.
2 years.
So a couple of years ago in town meeting, and I'm scrambling because I don't have my book with me here in my office. But an accessory dwelling unit may be the answer. In other words, you don't subdivide the piece of property. The accessory dwelling unit can be of specific sizes on the same unit. And believe it or not, this is exactly why we add the accessory units to our zoning bylaw a few years ago. I don't know if Mr. Santiago, you had looked into that or not. It would not require the subdivision of the property. It does have some limitations on how big the building can be. And it is a zoning board of appeals application. So and Mr. Santiago, I just went through this with my parents, with one of my parents. So I have a great deal of whatchamacallit. But this was added by the town of Ayer's zoning bylaws in the last 2 years as a way to solve a problem like this. So thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm not suggesting it can be done. I'm just saying maybe you want to explore that before you deny him and send him away for 2 years. Thank you.
A viable option, I would think, but that's not my call.
The only question I'd have, and I'm not aware of that particular bylaw, is if it can be a detached accessory building.
Yes, I believe so. Yep. Section 9.3.2. Kevin.
Okay. All right.
I believe I'm doing it off the top of my head, sir.
No, that's fine. I appreciate the input. Yeah. Absolutely.
No, quite honestly, we understand here. We want to keep families here. There's so much we want to do, but as you know, especially down in that area of town, this was put together as camps prior to zoning.
Right.
So it's a little bit sticky. And I think all of the points the zoning board of appeals have made are valid. That's a pork chop lot. you know, but you may find that by not subdividing the lot, you can get something in there that will fit for Mr. Santiago, give him his separation, give him support of his family. And quite honestly, the family has then a great property going in the future as Mr. Santiago's family
Absolutely.
grows and stuff like that. So I'm done. Thank you, guys.
Yep.
Yep.
What do you think, Mr. Conover?
I think that's worth investigating. Absolutely. Ultimately, it's Mr. Santiago's call if he wants to withdraw this application and review that section of the bylaw to see if it applies to what his intent is. I think, I appreciate, Jeff's input on that. And if we can do it, we can be back in front of the board with a similar proposal without the lot division. Throw it on a 20,000 square foot lot and with an existing house and a proposed attached accessory building.
In-law,
And that-
yes, in-law house or something like that.
We call them accessory units now, but that's exactly what they were intended to be, Sam.
Right.
In-laws. Yep.
Right. And that would be great. And I agree with everything that the concerns that everybody had in terms of density and lot size and setbacks. And if that provision of the bylaw is applicable and it, like I said, if it can be detached, then I think that's a perfect solution.
Yeah.
And ultimately it's Mr. Santiago's call, but I would support at least in making that investigation.
So at this point, do you want to withdraw your application? Is that what I'm understanding? I don't think it's going to go well. Listening.
No,
Well,
I got that feeling, but
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I was born at night, but not last night. So, so it would be my recommendation to withdraw the application. That way we can investigate that. We wouldn't have to wait the 2 years like it's written into the, in terms of coming back for a variance on the same piece of property.
Right.
So that would be my recommendation.
Mr. Santiago? Did we lose him?
Oh, dear.
Tim, did you hear any of that conversation?
Well,
He's still there. I'm not sure if he has his volume on or, but I can see him like you can.
no,
Yeah.
I'm for whatever reason, my screen's limited to 4. Well, you're the
I can
Kevin, do you
see
want-
him. I just,
You want us to take a
Can you
recess
call
and
him?
give him a call?
hold on.
I tell you what, on his behalf, obviously, I would like to withdraw the application at this time and investigate the provisions of the bylaw, like Jeff said. And then hopefully we'll be back in front of the board with a more conforming proposal.
All right.
Okay?
Kevin,
Yes,
may I offer a friendly, you're withdrawing without prejudice?
I'd withdraw without prejudice. Thank you, Jeff.
Right.
Thank you, Jeff.
Sorry, Sam. I mean,
Hey, what can I tell you? I appreciate the help. All right, that being said, I make a motion to allow the applicant to withdraw without prejudice on the right road lot division.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye. State your name, please.
Jessica Gino, aye.
Mike Gibbons, aye.
John Ellis, aye.
Ron DeFilippo,
Sam Goodwin, aye. All right, sir, we have we are allowed to withdraw, and when you circle the wagons, we'll see you back.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good. Good.
Next item on the agenda is approval of June 21st.
Yeah.
Any comments, questions?
Easy.
What?
They look good.
Yeah.
We're good too.
It's easy. Thank you, Samantha.
Thank
Another
you.
great,
Welcome.
another great,
All
another great job there.
all
Thank
those
you.
in favor of adopting the minutes as published signify by saying aye.
Jessica Gino, aye.
Mike Gibbons, aye.
Ron DeFilippo, aye.
John?
I recuse, I was not at that meeting.
Oh,
That's right, you weren't, were you? Yep.
okay.
Sam Goodwin, aye. Marilyn? There's your chance.
You mute.
You still
Boy,
need,
technology tonight is just not working anywhere.
Yeah, boy.
She did nod yes anyway.
I got that. She nodded. That's good enough. All right. Do we have board discussion we need to have?
Um,
This is July, August. We'll keep an eye on what we have upcoming. Like I told you guys earlier on, Samantha sent all the regulations out. I've been playing with them as I go along, and I'm sure everybody else has at the same time. And I like to do a face-to-face meeting, either September or October, when we have a very small agenda. We can go into the town hall, sit there face-to-face, work our way through these, put it to bed. So that's the way,
Yes,
that's the way I think that would work out best.
yes, indeed. I agree.
100%.
Yes.
As it stands, I have no application for August at this time.
Okay. Well, I don't know how long it's going to take Conor to get back, but I don't think it's going to be a month.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
there's, at this time, I've had no application for August. There is still a few more days in which someone can submit something, but as far as I know, there's nothing.
I think we ought to I really would like to hold off until September,
Oh,
October.
yeah, no, that's,
Oh, yeah.
we're just letting you know that there might not be a meeting next month.
And even if we get real busy in the fall, I'd be in favor of meeting on another Wednesday.
Same
If it's a
here.
one agenda item, just, I'd like to,
This,
Okay.
right, this is real important. Thank you. I'm ready for any extra meeting. Yeah.
but let's wait till the fall, because I think I'm actually on vacation for next month's meeting. So if we don't have one, great. But if we do, I'm glad we have Marilyn to fill in, because I don't think I'm going to be here.
You think about that. I know I'm gone in September. I got to look and see what days I go out. I know we go to sea on the 11th, but I don't know how long we're gone for. September.
The August meeting should be the 16th and the September should be the 20th.
Oh, okay. September's the 20th. We get back on the 18th. So yeah, September looks good.
Same.
All right, I'll put a star next to that one.
Okay. Anything else anybody wanted to bring up?
Nope.
Nope.
No?
Well, thank you, everybody, for joining in. Great day and stay cool.
Okay.
Make a motion.
We'll see you
to
guys.
close.
Thanks, G.
Yeah, we need a,
Everybody.
Motion to adjourn?
I did.
Yeah, all right.
Second.
I just did that.
No.
No, we approved the minutes. I would have mixed it too.
Adjourned just now.
Yeah.
all right.
Second.
Seconded it. Thank you, Michael. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Jessica, do you
Mike
know, aye.
Gibbons.
Ron DeFilippo, aye.
Aye.
I'm good one, aye. Thank you, one and all.